Hey guys, welcome to the show. My name is Rachel Jane Adelman, and this is The Joy of Posting, the show where I write jokes for 60 minutes. And also, I talk about my thought process as I write them. And also, if you have jokes you're working on in the chat, I'm happy to help with those. And also, if you have ideas or thoughts about the jokes I'm writing, I'm happy to hear them. As long as you don't fill my punchlines in, because I love doing that part. Today I'm also trying to raise money for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. And I've raised, and I'm not joking, I believe I've raised $69.42 from one person. So if you, I'm going to match up to 150 if you'd like to help me fundraise tonight. Then this will not be sort of a merely a comedy show. It will also be for something kind of discreet and actionable and good and positive as well. How are we doing in the chat? How many people are watching us? We're up to 7. That's great. Love 7. 7's a great number. 7 samurai, 7 days of the week, 7 sins, 7 sins and 7 virtues. That's the way. But then like you're reading the sins and you're like, I don't think lust is bad. The sins and the virtues are the vices and the virtues feel a little bit like, I don't know if bitchy is the word, but they're bitchy. Hello, Disco Dear Diary, 7 Hills of Somerville. It's true. Somerville is notoriously hilly to a degree of prime number. If you are interested in knowing where I'm trying to raise money from, I am, if you guys can see this, let's see, I'm going to zoom it in for a second. I'm also watching myself, because I'm sharing my screen, I'm watching myself on my phone. So that's how this is working. So what I'm doing is I had 2 comedy shows tonight. I just finished the first one. This is my second comedy show for tonight. Comedy loosely termed comedy. So the Louisville Community Bail Fund is right here. If you click on it, I'm going to open that up. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to make all this stuff big so you guys can see it. You can find the link on here, which is, let me just retweet this as Too Much Bread so that you can find it. So go to Too Much Bread, 2MB Studios on Twitter, and you can find the link to that pretty easily on the Louisville Community Bail Fund. A lot of contributions so far. We're going to see if we can add a little bit to that. Because the only way we get see if we can add a little bit to that. I'm sorry, I accidentally opened this show on my browser. What? Cock up. Hey, Avi, how you doing? So we are going to write some jokes tonight, as well as fundraise. So if anyone comes here, just know that we are looking to raise up to $150. Actually, let me do it here. So I actually don't remember exactly how much. So $150 we're looking to raise. Do it through my DMs. Let me see those receipts. If you donate to the, again, Louisville Community Bail Fund, send me a receipt to my personal, or to MB's really, this receipts to your donation, and I will match them up to $150. And that's how this will work. So it's a fundraiser. It's also for jokes. Everything is the same thing. Thank you. I hope I'm helping. All I can do is hope that this is helpful. That's all I ever hope for any of my actions in this world. And thank you, Matt, for putting the link additionally in the comments. Whenever I try to put the link in the comments, it invariably censors it, regardless of the nature of the link. Cool. So we're going to write some jokes tonight because we're in a mood to joke. A funny mood, a fun mood, a positive mood. That's, of course, a somewhat of a fantasy, but we must maintain to produce comedic work, we must maintain the facade of an ironic detachment, or a sort of a cheerful distance, let's call it. We're going to put on a cheerfully distant facade to write some jokes tonight. I'm just going to put that up on the screen. Cheerfully distant facade. And this is just my little reminder to myself. It is fine to write little reminders to yourself. If you feel like those are necessary, I'm going to blow this up. Just so that you know that this is what the tone, this is what we are working on in terms of tone right now. I'm looking for the bold. Where'd it go? Everything's different when everything's bigger. That's one of those things that sounds, in your head, it sounds very astute and insightful. And then the second it leaves your head and out your mouth, you're just like, gosh, I must sound like an imbecile. But cheerfully distant facade, this is what we're going for right now, knowing also that we are raising $150. Let me just check my DMs to see if there are any new receipts. Cool. So I've only had one receipt, $42.69. But if we get more receipts, either in the DMs of my personal Twitter account or the DMs of the 2MB Studios account, I will match them tonight. So feel free to do a little. We're gonna do a little bit of fundraising while we write our dumb fucking jokes. Oh boy. We actually are gonna write some jokes because this is what the show is about. And while you can supplement the show with other endeavors or other goals, ultimately it is a joke writing show. And you never saw Bob Ross not paint a painting. The show would be a failure if it didn't accomplish its singular priority of writing at least, let's say, 2 jokes tonight. Hey, Dr. Love Truffle, how you doing? I can throw a bit in tonight. Thank you, Dr. Love Truffle. You are a angel. And Disco, Dear Diary, woot woot, receipts time. Root receipts time. Woot woot is one of those phrases that you do see online, and again, when you say it, you feel like an alien attempting to be a man. Is that a joke? Woot is a phrase used online by men. I do have a bad habit, I think I've talked about it before, of using like men and mankind instead of humankind, just because I really do like the word man and mankind. I think it's very sonically pleasing, so sometimes I like, and also obviously you're coming in to the context of joke writing with all the sort of misogynist architecture around everyone's assumptions and sort of conventional wisdom. So sometimes you are like, should I say, as used online by men and said out loud by aliens pretending to be men. So let's see if we can degender it a little bit. Who is a phrase used online by people who are who have been born on Earth. The based blank list is more like man unkind. Boom. How about that? How about that indeed? Cool. Woot is a phrase used online by people who have been born on Earth and used out loud by aliens who have only seen Earth in a tourist called travel magazines. I think that's a pretty good joke. I feel like that's a relatively good joke. Sorry, I want to apologize for Disco Dear Diary. I may have used an earnest phrase that you said with a sincere enthusiasm and turned it into some fun. Aliens are wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with sounding a little bit like an alien. Woot woot is a phrase used online by people who have been born on Earth and used out loud. This is like a fun, I won't keep it because it's distracting, but I do like this idea that outline is the opposite of online. I may use that as a seed for another future joke. But we'll say, well, and used in the real world. I know the real world is sort of maybe sort of what's it called? Like a vintage phrase regarding sort of everything that happens offline. And I really hate the term meat space. It just gives me like an ulcer. Yeah, woot woot is a phrase used online by people who have been born on Earth and used in the real world by aliens who have only seen Earth in travel magazines. That feels like a pretty good joke to me. Disco Diary says, I guess it does equal yeet if you're not an old fogey like me. How dare you have fun? That's true. How dare I have fun? That is often the feeling I have about myself while I do anything. The summer and fall has been very strange because everything terrible seems to have happened at once. You have no control over it, but it is hard to have joy without feeling this sense of impropriety. At least if you're me, everything feels very improprietous. I'm just going to head back into my DMs, see if I've got anything new. Nothing new in my personal DMs. Let's see if there's anything new in the 2MB Studio DMs. Nothing so far. Just a reminder that we are trying to raise $150 for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. So if you if you've donated or you will donate, send me via DMs either account, and I will match it up to $150 because that's I looked at my budget and that's how much I can afford. Fun fact. Cool. So let's do another joke. Another joke here. Obviously, we had a lot of fun with aliens and the term woot woot. Let's see where else we can go. Things often I like to. I think I've said this before. In fact, I know I've said it before. One thing I like to do is to begin with sort of compound words or compound phrases that sort of suggest some sort of contrast between terms or ideas that you can exploit by exaggerating one, sort of toward the absurdity of the other. So let's just write some compound words or compound phrases right here. Beer belly. No, I can't see. Where am I writing? Where did my there we go. I like to blow things up very large so that people on their phones can see what I'm doing. Beforehand, earlier in the iteration of this show, I did not blow things up, and I realized that what I was doing was completely illegible. So a beer belly is one compound phrase. We're just going to kind of knock some out here. And in the meantime, let me go back to the chat. DSDorak G223 asks, in search of followers, primes, and views, come on, big follows, asterisk, no, Matt, I'm going to finish. Every comment is important. Come on, big follows, asterisk, bigfollows.com in parentheses. Matt doubts the importance or relevance of spam comments. I cherish every single comment. Even spam tells us a lot about the world and our place in it. For example, oh, Matt, reported and blocked. Who knows what else, other insights they could have given us if we'd only given them the chance. Matt is the mod. He is doing mod things. Moderators. Mods. Mods. I like mods. Mods make me think of Mod Squad. 2020 Mod Squad. 3 sexy. Wait, I said 3, but I wrote 2. That is funny. That's real comedy for you right there. 2020 Mod Squad. 3 sexy 20-somethings in the coolest fashion, sitting at laptops, blocking and reporting the spam, the spam accounts. that appear in the chat of their Twitch streams. Oh, hey there, Hetty. Dan McClory, hey, Dan. I don't know what a prime is. Sounds good, though. Gotta get after the Mega DZX, only pops up in spam. Lynn's, hey, Lynn. 2020 God Squad, 3 sexy, spiritual murderers assigned to kill God. I like that very much. That is, and I will tell you, I've said this before, if you write your own joke, even if it's inspired by a joke that you're watching me write, if you write what I consider an entire joke, sort of the setup and punchline, feel free to use that in your own social media. And if you'd like, you can tag 2MB Studios in that tweet. We will retweet it as sort of a course of this was produced during the stream, and of course we want to support everyone who enjoys and is following our channel and is watching our shows. We just want to support everything you guys do. So feel free to post your own jokes in your own social media accounts and tag us, and we will retweet you. So just to finish this joke, it feels like this is one of those jokes where the punchline feels so long that it feels like it needs a second punchline because you really want the punchline to pop. So if you feel like your initial punchline, and jokes of course can have multiple punchlines or sort of decoy or dummy punchlines leading up to the true or terminal punchline, this one feels like it might need a last terminal punchline. So 2020 Mod Squad, 3 sexy 20-somethings in the coolest fashion. And we're going to change coolest to latest because it's a little bit more specific. Sitting at laptops, blocking and reporting the spam accounts that appear in the chat that appear, we're going to just shorten this, appear during their Twitch streams. And then we're going to look for a little bit of a punch. Now, I happen to not know that much about the Mod Squad. I know that it was, I believe, Diana Rigg originally, and then I think that, or Peggy Lipton rather, sorry, R.I.P. R.I.P. both of them. And I think there was a remake with Claire Danes, the Mod Squad film with Claire Danes, Omar Epps, and Giovanni Ribisi. I love and every note is important. So my computer is like kind of laggy. I apologize for that. So the Mod Squad, I think that because we have leaned into the falseness of this, leaned into the contrast of what's true and what's untrue, what's in jest, we might find the terminal punchline in reiterating something from the real. So, for example, you may say, "Oh, isn't it funny? Where you thought I was talking about the Mod Squad from the 70s, but I'm actually talking about moderators. But we're going to end on something real. For example, maybe it'll also include Clarence Williams 3 or Tig Williams. For me, I might, or the executive producers, Aaron Spelling produces. Aaron Spelling I'm going to use probably because he's the most well-known of these sort of names, besides Peggy Lipton, and I think he's a little bit funnier. The idea of him being involved is funnier. 2020 Mod Squad, 3 sexy 20-somethings in the latest fashion, sitting at laptops blocking and reporting the spam accounts that appear during their Twitch streams. Executive produced by Aaron Spelling. This is formatted, but it'll go away when we post it, no worries. And is he still alive? No, he died 14 years ago. So we're just going to add a ghost. No disrespect to Aaron Spelling. We just want to make sure that we have sort of recognized that level of absurdity. How can he executive produce the 2020 Mod Squad if he is dead. Cat has just, Cat. Oh, I've just received a donation from wonderful Cat. Cat has donated 30.58. So I'm just going to add that to 30.58. We're going to figure out the math later, but it feels like we're closer, but it doesn't feel like we're there. Well, thank you so much, Kat. You are a blessing. So just one more time, 2020 Mod Squad, 3 sexy 20-somethings in the latest fashion, sitting at laptops, blocking and reporting spam accounts. We're going to try to keep this short. Spam accounts that appear during their Twitch streams, executive produced by Erin Spelling, a ghost. So that feels good. That feels like there's enough twists and turns to keep it fun. We're going to go back to the chat, see how you guys are doing. Sorry if my writing ended up, while I was writing, I ended up ignoring the suggestions you guys were making. So Base Banquist said, could you convey that they're wearing mod-style pajamas somehow? I forget what mod clothes look like. I think that they are sort of like, I tend to think of them as like felt and like felt fabric and like geometric shapes. Disco Diary says, oops, I commented on the spam account and my message got blocked by the spam filter, and then a series of LOLs. Disco Diary says, good on Aaron. And 2MB Studios says, thanks for the follow and an unexpected error. Thank you for all the follows. We are very appreciative of your follows. We are, as you can probably tell, sort of a small but growing Twitch stream. We are working on it, and we are very proud of the programming we have so far. We have some great programming coming up toward the future. This Friday, I believe at 9, we have Tuki Kavanaugh, a wonderful stand-up based in the greater Boston area, is going to have her pilot for her show called The Rehash. Definitely stop by and watch that. And we have, again, many shows. I think I'm in the process of producing 4 or 5 different shows right now, because we have, there's like a lot of, there's interest, and also like we have interest in getting some of the very talented people we know up on the Twitch stream. So again, if you're also just joining us, this is also, besides a normal Joy of Posting episode where I'm writing jokes, it is also a fundraiser for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. So if you will DM me between now and 10, I will match any donation I receive up to $150. Yeah, if you have any desire to be helpful in that way, feel free to. I am looking now at a beautiful new receipt for $20. Thank you. I forget who did that. Let me see. Let me go back to that DM to see who did it. Thank you, Jason. Jason, you are a mensch. That is Jewish for a good person. Thank you very much. So we have another 20. Thank you, guys. And we will kind of count this all up at the end, and I'll tell you how much I will be matching up to 150, and I'll tell you how much we will have donated in total. And that'll be something we're also doing on the stream. So, 2MB Studios would like to make a correction, which I will reiterate. The rehash starts at 10:30 p.m. It's hard to remember when things are when they haven't happened yet. There's a lot going on, not just on our stream, but in the world. But Pfeiffer says, get in on the ground floor of this up-and-coming channel, folks. And thank you so much, Pfeiffer. So Pfeiffer has been a very loyal supporter. Thank you so much for all of the shows you've watched. We greatly appreciate it. So let's get back to, now that I've said all that, let's get back to joking. Because I've only written 2 jokes. And I know that is partly partly because I've been also running a fundraiser and chatting with you guys. But also, let's do jokes. But before we do a joke, I'm going to go back to the chat one more time. Disco Dear Diary says $40 can buy you over 10,000 followers according to that website that Spambot linked us to. That is very good to know. I think that is fun. Uh, that's a lot of people, real people. Cool. So let's see, $42, $42, $50. I like that presidents are on our money. A lot of you may notice that a lot of my jokes are off with just free associating based off an idea that has suddenly struck me as being maybe worth digging into or not. We'll see. Presidents are on our money. Really, leaders are on our money. Presidents are on our money because now I'm thinking of things that presidents would do that would be benefited or expedited via their faces appearing on our money. Presidents are on our money because anybody who becomes leader of the country has no time for mirrors. They only have time to reflect on themselves while thinking about the economy, which looking at dollars does. So this is one of those jokes where I feel like I could have maybe I can maybe like futz with it. I'm like, I don't know if the punchline is exactly at the end, but I'm also like pretty happy with the way it is now. Let me just reread it to see if there's any like last minute changes I should do. I know that sort of as a sensual activity, joke writing, it's always often more fun to sort of like snap one out, like write it and just post it immediately rather than really like revising it. With the also the additional fear that you'll make it worse through revision, which is often possible. So let me just read this and see if I can indulge myself in the sensual pleasure of tweeting it the way it is. Presidents are on our money because anybody who becomes leader. So we're just gonna again rereading it is a great way of noticing when things are more wordy than necessary. Presidents are on our money because the leaders, any leader of the country, and see how much shorter and punchier it already is. Presidents are on our money because any leader of the country has no time for mirrors. We can actually make that into a period. They only have time to reflect on themselves while we're actually, I think the funny idea is that looking at money helps you think about the economy. So I think I'm going to switch these two phrases. Looking at dollars. That's called thinking about the economy. Sometimes it's like a fun connecting thought. If you're ever like, I don't know how to get from here to there, you can just say that this is what it's called. I think I've probably used this sort of trick or strategy before in other jokes I've constructed. You know what they call it. Because who's they? Who cares? It's just a connecting way of connecting these ideas. So presidents are our money because any leader of the country has no time for mirrors. They only have time to reflect on themselves while looking at dollars. That's called thinking about the economy. That feels pretty good. Of course, I'm sure in 4 hours I'm like, why did I switch thinking about the economy and looking at dollars? Looking at dollars is clearly the more absurd activity. We'll see how long it takes me to regret that decision. Cool, that's another joke. We're up to 3, guys. 3.5 hour. We're burning rubber. Let's check in with the chat, see how you guys are doing. JGR13 says, readers will have to assume you are a time travel fresh arrived from the Obama administration. Love those late night tweet regrets. That's true. The more you tweet, the more late night tweet regrets you'll have, regardless of when your tweets occurred. Regrets are really a thing that happens most at night. So we're going to just check again for those who are just joining us. This is not just a show about joking or writing jokes. It's also a fundraiser for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. If you send me your receipts, I will match them up to $150. So let's see. We have no DMs in the 2MB studio account. Let me check my personal one by hunching over my phone at a ridiculous angle compared to people who are watching me. So no new DMs in my personal, so no new receipts overall. So just letting you know, as long as you let me know that you have contributed to the Louisville Community Bail Fund, I will match that donation up to $150. That's part of tonight. Because it's important to live in the world and to respond to it and react to it. And as a comedian, especially in the last year or so, I really have not wanted to do that, or I really have not enjoyed topical humor as much. So being able to write silly jokes and also, contribute to the world, as I hope to be in a positive way. This is sort of the path the strategy I've chosen. Hetty says, do vampires have strong opinions on political theory? They've seen it all. I feel like vampires really don't give a shit about how humans organize themselves, except to the extent that they make themselves physically vulnerable. That's my hunch. Cool. Let's see if I can also always check to see how people are enjoying these tweets. So John Series, he is a former student of mine. He started following us. That's great. Thank you, John. And then it seems like there is a modest enthusiasm for the jokes we've written so far. I'll see if they do better when I retweet them through my personal account. So let's keep going with some jokes. Just checking. We're doing cool. We're up to 17 viewers. Guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. I know that there's a lot going on. If you're in the Boston area, you could be watching the squeaky shoot men run up and down the court and put the orange ball into the hoop that is made of a fisherman's rope crisscrossed on a tall board. So thank you for spending your time with me as opposed to that exciting activity. We're going to write a new joke right now. It can be about anything. We're going to figure out what it is right now. People have told me, they're like, I can't imagine writing jokes in front of people. And I'm like, I do it every week. And there's a part of me that still is unable to believe that I do this. Cool. So, Dr. Love Truffle says there's probably a joke in where Dilly Duke tweets go. I do feel like you are probably right. I have found that really meta jokes about tweeting and platforming almost are never as quite successful as I like. I think people enjoy it when we make jokes that are not kind of as meta. I feel like meta humor is often sort of a purely niche pursuit, sort of across the board. No offense, it's a noble pursuit. I'm just looking for stuff that connects with people. I am about to lose my voice, so I'm going to get some water. I will be back in exactly 20 seconds, or the time it takes to lose 5 viewers. So if you don't feel like leaving, feel free to have fun in the comments. I will be back again. Can't emphasize enough. 30 seconds, or as much time as it takes to lose 5 viewers. I'll be right back.
So we're going to count down Rachel getting a drink of water because, there's no sense in dead air when I'm just sitting here watching everything happen. Hi, everybody. It's me, Matt. And now Rachel's back, so I'm going away.
Hey, Matt. Oh, he's a sweetheart. Matt texts so many of our shows, and he is so good at it. Cool. Let's do some more joking. Also, how's everybody doing? It's so fun. Dr. Love Truffle says meta jokes are all I do, and everyone hates it. It's great. Cool. So let's do some more jokes. I would love to do some more jokes. I might, someone's writing about needing to trim your toenails. Cool. That's actually fun. Nails are fun. Nails are fun because they're like skin, but not. Let's see. Nails are like skin that was cursed for being too sharp. No, that's what it is. The sharpness is a consequence. It's not the origin story. Nails are like skin that was cursed for being too good. I'm going to actually return to this one because I feel like there's something there, but I cannot think of the punchline. And often, if you have a first half, you can let it rest, and the punchline will come to you, or it was never meant to be. Lynn says it cursed itself to protect fingertips. Nails are like skin that was cursed for being. What about too delicious? And too irresistible to be chewed on. That still feels wrong, or incomplete somehow, but we'll return to it if I can think of more for that joke. Too good at being skin. Nails are like skin that was cursed. Actually, now that I think about it, was it this is absurd, but of course absurdity is our friend when it comes to online jokes. So let's say nails are like skin that was cursed for trying to defeat God, which in the skin world is the guy with skin. So like, so there's a lot of good ideas for punchlines in the comments to stop people from fingering each other. I do like that one a lot. No fingering. Nails. That is arguably a better one than I came up with. Nails are like skin that was cursed for trying to defeat God, which in the world of skin is the guy with skin. So Tom. This one is very strange. I would actually be surprised if it did well, but it is the kind of joke I like personally. So we're gonna indulge ourselves the way that all good artists are sporadically indulgent. Nails are like skin that was cursed for trying to defeat God, which in the world of skin is the guy with skin. So Tom. It's a very strange tweet. Possibly this was the strangest tweet I've written on this program. Matt can correct me on that, but I believe that's true. Cool. So again, if you're just joining us, we're doing a fundraiser for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. It's such a fun segue to go from a joke about nails and skin to something very serious. But this is the world we live in. This is part of it. So if you DM me or message me or however you know how to contact me, and again, show your receipt between now and 10 p.m., I will match it up to $150. A Disco Dear Diary says, indulge. I love it very much. Indulgences, I know, has like a Christendom affiliation or association. Now I'm just saying words. I'm unfamiliar with indulgences as a Jew. I should look that up though. What are indulgences? The idea of indulgences the idea of an indulgence in like a specific sense, like God, like making a list of things which are definitionally, like categorically indulgent is very funny. I feel like if definitely a Catholic thing, I feel like Catholicism has so much lower. Indulgence is a way to reduce the amount of punishment one has to undergo for sins. Oh, as a remission before God of the temporal punishment due to sins whose guilt have already been forgiven. So they're like a good thing. That's very weird. I wonder how indulgences became. It's like, I'm gonna indulge by putting my feet in the air. Lynn says, I feel weird posting jokes right now, so I'm just gonna keep bothering you people with them. It is a weird time to post jokes. But also, this is a fundraiser, so we can do both things. We just have to do both things. Lynn also writes, there's people literally buying permission to sin. I assume that makes actually a lot of sense. Rich people. You really can go on. Rich people like to live in houses like the one from Parasite. They like to we're gonna come back to that. I don't have a good second. If you can get the first two, the third one can often appear or manifest itself fairly simply. You're like, once you've established the pattern, it's relatively easy to break it. But when you don't have the second one, when you can't establish the pattern, it's then like that is the difficulty. Dan says, yeah, it's like 1480s era Italy stuff. Nice. Disco Dear Diary says, Catholicism is ridiculous, and I say this as the daughter of a former Irish Catholic. Yes. And Dulcinex 99 subscribe to tier 1. Thank you so much. Dulcinex 99. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Well, it's so weird the way people talk about Catholics. Like, I mean, everything about religion and the way people talk. It's like there's so much like confusion, and it's just sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed by things like people say like, "Oh, Biden's going to have trouble with the Catholic vote." And I'm like, "Isn't Biden Catholic? Like, why would he? Unless like, what does that mean? What does any of this mean?" Let's see. We are having trouble attracting the Catholic vote. Our campaign strategists have told us to stop. How do your parents stop being Irish? You got excommunicated. I'm sorry, I have to have a conversation. Disco Dear Larry later. I love, or I don't love, but I'm fascinated with the idea of excommunication, so we'll talk about it later. We're having trouble attracting the Catholic vote. Our campaign strategists have told us to stop stop saying things like, look at our indulgences. We should really look those up at some point. And Matt suggests something about the Inquisition. And has someone raised as Catholic? I think Catholicism is not ridiculous. We're playfully subverting the Disco Dear Diaries comment about how if you're raised Catholic, you would think Catholicism is ridiculous. I was raised Catholic, and I do not think it's ridiculous. And Dr. Leftables has got to hit the store, but I'm going to keep listening. Thanks for fundraising. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. I really do appreciate every single person who clicks that link or decides to follow that notification, because there are, I'm well aware, many different things you could be doing on your Wednesday night, from the basketball to literally any Netflix show or movie, to working on your memoirs. So the fact that you chose me at this particular point in time, calendrically, symbolically, I very much appreciate. Thank you very much. So just to finish this joke, actually, I feel like I want to just see it inside of the tweet box. I will admit that just like we have a box. Oh, seems like we have a receipt. For $25. Nice. Thank you, Dan McCrory. Hopefully that was all right to put up on the screen. I think it was. Thank you so much. For those who are wondering, we just got here a little while ago. We're doing a fundraiser as well as joking for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. I will be matching these up to $150 because that's what my budget allows. Jukebox, hit that store. Yeah, hit that store. Show that store who's boss. Let's put this in here. You're having trouble attracting the Catholic vote. Let me change attracting to. Yeah, I think attracting is all right. Our campaign strategists have told us to stop saying things like, "What are indulgences? We should really look those up at some point." And as someone raised Catholic, I think Catholicism is not ridiculous. They say, I'm actually close to done. If you see tweeting, what my favorite part about tweeting is that it is, it requires brevity, and that is where the wit comes from, as they say. One of my favorite gags in The Simpsons is when there's like a banner behind them that says they're at like a Reader's Digest conference or convention, and it just says brevity is ... wit, and I think about it all the time. So you're having trouble attracting the Catholic vote. Our campaign strategists have told us to stop things and saying things like, "What are indulgences? We should really look those up at some point." Okay, we're going to change some point. Should only look those up sometime. And someone raised Catholic, I think Catholicism is not ridiculous. They say long, so that's too long. They say shut up. So again, you can dig in your heels, your shovel, explore all the tiny minute variations in every delivery. What's the difference between they say to shut up or they say shut up? Shut up is a little bit punchier, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to tweet that. I don't think I've really written a lot about religion on here, so that one felt pretty good. Oh, we have something from Pfeiffer. Oh, $75. Thank you, the Pfeiffer. That's wonderful. So excited to do the math here. I'm only 5 away from 150. Nice. I also did get I think it was, let me check on my personal. I had one here actually, not here. I got a 42.69, which I did not add here before. So 42.69. Does that bring us to someone who can do math? Is that up to 150? I think that's over. If we've hit it, let's see, 30, 50, 50, 75, 75 plus 75, 150 plus 42, 100. It sounds like 200. Yay, $192, guys. We've maxed out. We've overshot blessedly our goal. And I'm going to match it tonight for 150, which is, let me do the math here, starting with 2, then it's a 14, carry the 1. So we're going to, in total, donate $342 to the Louisville Community Bail Fund. So that feels pretty good. Boom. Kat says, "Oh no, I thought it was 6942, so I tried to make it a round number." No, you're perfect. Everyone here is perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for donating. Obviously, we need systematic change in this country, and supporting the people who are protesting tonight is very important. In the days and weeks to come, as much as you can to support what's going on. I think it's really good. Matt says, "Well done, everyone," and I would like to second that sentiment. So we have hit our goal, so now all we have left to do is a little bit more writing. This is great. Now we can write without with that noble albatross around our neck. Will we hit it? Will we not? We've done it. We have succeeded tonight. So we can use that success as the driving force, because as we all know, what is funniest is success. And who are the funniest people? People who succeed. The Viper says, "Oops, overfilled the cup." No, thank you. Thank you all for donating. This cup will grow to contain any wine you pour into it. So that's actually a fun idea. A cup that grows to contain the wine you pour into it. I think I don't have a second part of that. Sometimes joke writing is just writing premises or setups, realizing you have nothing, and then moving on. Because the worst thing is torturing yourself over one joke when you could just write another setup. It is a cup of holding, that's true. I do know a bag of holding. They used to sell them on, I think it was Geekly or Nerdly, like some one of those like nerd websites. I always thought it looked kind of cool, but I never ended up buying it. I don't think they're in business anymore. But then it gets embarrassed and you're going to have insurance. Talk about beer goggles. Beer goggles are when you are... Why would you need goggles? Flying a biplane through a distillery almost never happens, but in the 50s there was a national panic, and thousands were produced. That's the Cold War for you. Whenever I can give it like this weird like context for like a weird historical context, which I feel very shaky on my history in general. I'm like, I think I vaguely know what happened when, but don't ask me to name any specifics. This is like just a level of historical knowledge that feels like it lives happily in the world of the comedic. Beer goggles are for when you are flying a biplane through a distillery. This almost never happens, but in the 50s there was a national panic, and thousands were produced. That's the Cold War for you. That would be like a fun punchline for a character in a sitcom set during the Cold War. That's the Cold War for you. The Cold War is obviously funnier than the Hot War. Any Hot Wars. Let's see. Cold War, Hot War. What's the difference, guys? Yeah. Temperature. I like the idea that wars have a temperature. I fought in the Cold War. I don't know. This might be too silly. This feels too silly. Dear Diary says, "It was wild to study Cold War history and realize that the satirical comic strips of the era weren't exaggerating that much." Yeah. Everything about the United States relationship to suppressing, socialist uh, um, programs or enterprises or just one second. Oh, we just got another $22. Hell yeah. I believe 150 limit has been reached, but I will absolutely take $22. Wonderful. Someone who's good at math can have, I'll do it. I'm making you guys do so much already. 3, 4, 6, $346. That is for the bail fund. Hello. How are you? That's the Cold War for you. That's good. Cool. Let's do a couple more before we wrap things up for tonight. Let's see how. Cool. We still have 17 viewers, so 17 different people. I assume 17 different people, as opposed to one person with 17 phones arranged around them. Or like sort of a line arrayed on their phone, arrayed on their wall. It is funny to me to think that we always assume that one viewer equals one person when it's really just one device. So it really can be any number of people. You could have 20 people huddled around a television that's connected to the internet, and that will read as one person. So there's really no way to ever know how many people are watching you. Matt says it's all me. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for being such a loyal viewer that you are watching this show 17 through 17 different devices. Cool. So I'm going to do another one. Thinking about, I think what was it called? Sting? Not Sting, The Police had a song called Don't Stand Too Close to Me. Can you imagine? So there's just a music band called The Police, and no one's ever like, hey, that's weird. The Police had a song called Don't Stand Too Close to Me. This Good Diary says, I'm going to tell all the 10,000 followers I bought on that spam bot site. I also should say that the $22 was from Julie Carr. Thank you so much, Julie. I don't think I thanked you when I added it, but I'm very grateful. The Police had a song called Don't Stand Too Close to Me. While that was about blaming a child for sexual attention, we must regret to announce it has become simply good advice. I don't know if I like this one. Obviously, it's sort of like a coronavirus joke. But I don't know if I like it. I don't know. I'm back and forth. Should I post it? Who knows? Let's keep going. I feel like whenever I'm like not engaged with a joke after I write it, I'm like, it's probably not worth posting. Because if I'm not excited about it at the moment of writing, then when am I going to get excited about it? I don't know. I don't think there's an answer to that. Cool. Let's do a couple more. Barrel of monkeys. That's very funny. It's funny of thinking of monkeys and barrels. A barrel of monkeys. I hate it whenever I encounter a barrel of monkeys. They keep stealing my whiskey. Keep drinking my whiskey. Which I have painstakingly aged. They also keep winning all poker games. They're just meddlesome on several levels. It's just a fun, wholesome joke about monkeys drinking whiskey and gambling. It's funny how writing a joke about drinking whiskey and gambling feels completely wholesome. I think it's just because it's not connected to anything in the real world. Hate it whenever I encounter a barrel of monkeys. We're going to change it to we just because for 2MB Studios, I tend to write in we because because there's several producers and like a tech producer. So when I write from this account, I try to use we. We hate it whenever we encounter a barrel of monkeys. They keep drinking our whiskey, which we have painstakingly aged. They also keep winning all our poker games. They're just meddlesome on several levels. So I'm thinking right now, as if you see me, I'm thinking meddlesome, obnoxious. Is there a stronger, harder, punchier word? I do like meddlesome because it feels very like homey and like rootin' tootin'. It feels like it's from the family of rootin' tootin' language, so I am fond of it for that reason. They're just meddlesome on several levels. Is there a better word than several? I don't think at this time there's no better word top of mind, so I'm going to let that go. I'm going to say good, or we're going to tweet it. Disco Dear Diary says, jokes about whiskey and poker have that vintage feel. It's true. I went to a whiskey distillery while I was in Nashville visiting my grandparents. And it was like fun. It was fun to go to the barrel room and all the barrels. I don't really drink whiskey. I'm not much of like I like beers. I'm like kind of a lightweight, but it was like so fun to see like it all being produced and all the barrels full of stuff and like learning about like the heads and the bottoms and all like the different parts. You're like, you can use this to restart the next one. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's see. I think I might do one or two more. Dan McClory says, several I liked because there were just two. That's true. Whenever you can use specific language that is obviously to the viewer, to the audience, incorrect, that's always fun. Because it's just like, what? It just adds a level of absurdity that just feels like just subtle enough to not be distracting. It's very funny. Anyways, you can create a narrator really rapidly that is immediately unreliable. Unreliable narrators fucking rock. Cool. Let's do one more. If I like it, I'll do one. And if I am not fond of the one I'm about to write, then I'll try to write another because I like to end the show writing a joke I like. See if you guys are still with me. Yeah, we've lost a few people. That's fine. So I'll try to wrap it up if I can. I don't want to end the show with like 5 people watching. That's a little bit of a bummer. Let's gonna end as an unreliable narrator. I appreciate this. I'm really glad you feel that way. Disco Dear Diary. Let's see if we can wrap this up. Raisins are plums. Raisins are prunes. No, prunes. Oh my god. Raisins are grapes. Guys, raisins are grapes. Prunes are plums. Raisins are wrinkled grapes. Prunes are wrinkled plums. Again, I've said this before, but I love jokes that are just lists with a fun, like a list of true thing, and then a very false thing. So trying to think of what we probably want to keep the wrinkled winkles. That's not how you spell any of that. You want to kind of keep the idea of wrinkled, but we're going to think of something that's not a fruit, and that is not in the category of fruit. So raisins are wrinkled grapes. Prunes are wrinkled plums. Trying to think. So one way to make this fun is to get a lot more specific because these are pretty simple statements. So it's always fun to go from simple to complex, or to complex to simple. But the contrast is a fun switch up, which is always for me a fun comedic tool and strategy. So we're going to go raisins or wrinkled grapes, prunes or wrinkled plums, and then you'd be like, this balled up bloody tissue balled up bloody tissues are wrinkled tissues I had to use during last week's nosebleed. I think this is one of those jokes where I'm like, I appreciate it. Am I fond of it? We'll see. I may grow more fond of it. I do like the setup a lot. Setup's really simple. Dan says, so you say. Raisins are wrinkled grapes, prunes are wrinkled plums. These balled up bloody tissues are the wrinkled tissues I had to use during last week's nosebleed. Should I add something in parentheses like not from the gunfight? Not too much. Let's see. Seems like we have some fun. People are enjoying the beer goggles one. They're enjoying the monkeys one. Yeah, there's some good positive feedback here. Enjoying the jokes we've written together. Let's see. Stab wound. Raisins. Yeah, we do need like a funny thing, or a funny thing to specify that it's not. Raisins are wrinkled grapes. Prunes are wrinkled plums. These balled up bloody tissues are wrinkled tissues that I had to use during last week's nosebleed, unrelated to a stabbing that was 8 weeks ago, like 2 months, if you prefer. This is one of those ones that feels like it's gotten a little bit away from me, but that's fine. That's part of it. That will happen. So I feel like this has been a great, regardless of our fondness for the last joke, I do feel like this feels for whatever reason a nice conclusion to the show, especially because we are hemorrhaging viewers in hour 10 colon 11. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for helping raise, I believe, $346 for the Louisville Community Bail Fund. When I log off tonight from this, I will match the $150 we raised. And of course, we raised more than that. And I hope you guys are all safe and healthy. I hope you guys are, making safe choices. And yeah, of course you are. And I just want to say, if you want to follow us, that's wonderful. If you want to subscribe to us, that's wonderful. You can subscribe to us through Amazon Prime by activating your Twitch Prime account. There are a couple of steps, but if you Google it, you can use your Amazon Prime account to subscribe to us for no extra money, which is, I think, pretty neat. Because that means we make money, you don't lose money. The only money person losing money is Jeff Bezos, which I think rocks. So all those things are ways to help support the channel. Also, feel free to watch the rest of our wonderful programming throughout the week. We have shows all week long. Otherwise, thanks guys. My name is Rachel Edelman, and this has been The Joy of Posting. Good night.